Cooper Flagg is making significant progress. Can you describe what happened with Jason Kidd's post-game presser the other day where he kind of lost it a little bit talking about how the coach knows what he's doing and you guys, the media, don't?
I have some mild conspiratorial takes around the fact that he chose to do that the day before the 1-year anniversary of the trade, just to make some news about that. But everyone likes yelling at me about that take. Instead, Kidd, I think it's the only time since he's been a Dallas Maverick coach that I really remember him going to bat for a player. I don't like his rant at the media in relation to this, because he also has these press conferences where he's actually said, I'm watching just like you guys. So this sort of tangent felt really out of place for him. I do feel that what he had to say about the refs that night was pretty accurate. I mean, Cooper has not gotten a great whistle. He is a rookie, so it's kind of come with the territory for me. But, he went to the line, I think maybe 6 times. It was 6 times in the 49-point game. I don't know. He got to the line pretty frequently against the Rockets, and he was pretty upset with the non-foul call on the last play. Cooper is kind of the polar opposite from Luka in that regard, where he doesn't say anything to the referees. And Kidd advocating on his behalf is really actually a nice change of pace, but it's just not something we've seen him do. So it felt really strange to me, given, the way he normally coaches over the last several years.
I mean, look, ultimately that should come in time for Cooper, especially given the frequency in which he drives to the basket. He's a rookie. I wouldn't expect him to get a veteran whistle at this point of his career. But the fact is, I've said it so many times on the pod this year, I still can't believe he's able to put up these numbers right now without a consistent knockdown jumper. And I think it just really shows the improvement of his handle off the dribble, his ability to create his own shot. If you look at what he was his senior year of high school and then at Duke, there was an improvement off the dribble, which is why they put the ball in his hands so much at Duke. It's why Jason Kidd empowered him earlier in the year as a point guard. But from then until now as well, he's just become so much more comfortable with his strong right hand and his offhand, the left, to get anywhere he wants on the rim, despite not having the threat of the jumper. And so with Cooper, this guy, if he becomes a knockdown shooter over time, which I believe he will, he's a really high touch player and he has those flashes with the shots falling. If Cooper becomes a knockdown shooter, Kirk, Flagg was a high floor draft pick with an unknown ceiling. The dude has MVP potential. That's, to me, what's been very, very, very clear throughout his rookie season, that Flagg has MVP upside because of the development of his handle and because of the hope that eventually those shots get knocked down from 3.
What's so funny, when I first heard about Flagg probably 4 years ago, he was largely lauded as a defensive prospect. And his offense has been so unbelievably good that we don't talk about his defense at all. And that's just such a wild turn of events, coming into the fact that 3 years ago, his shot looked pretty busted. You can find video of it on the internet. His shot did not look good. And he's really reworked it, retuned it. And he's able to, he's hitting these 12 to 15 foot jumpers. The 3 ball comes and goes. He's only at 28% right now. But I will say the other element that's made his numbers sort of outburst really shocking is the fact that the Mavericks don't have any spacing. The Mavericks have 2 of the best 3-point shooters in the league in Klay Thompson and Max Christie, but then they're bottom 5 in the league in 3-point shooting percentage. There's just not a lot of space to operate for this guy. So if the Mavericks were to, find a point guard, find a dominant guard that can, share the ball so Flagg doesn't have to be the point of attack guy on the offensive end all the time, I'm really interested to see what he can do, because he has been a really incredible one-on-one player. When they give him the ball in isolation, he does a great job. But I also like seeing him as part of a play finisher. And I think that because the Mavericks don't really have anyone to get him the ball, this is the situation that he's been put in here. I mean, you're reading the tweet right now. 83 points over 2 games is remarkable for most players, like an NBA player, let alone a teenage rookie.
Well, I think this is the draft to find that guard to pair with Cooper Flagg. I mean, if Dallas gets lucky and ends up in the top 3 and they have a chance at Darren Peterson, that's great. But even if they don't, Kingston Fleming's out of Houston is an option for them. I'd say Keaton Wagler, not a true point guard, but another ball handler, really rising up the ranks out of Illinois. Guys like LeBaron Philon from Alabama, Darius Acuff. There's a lot of guards. Bennett Sturts from Iowa. There's a lot of guard options for Dallas, whether they end up in the top 4 or whether they end up 6 or whether they're at the 10 or 11, depending on where they fall in the lottery standings if they don't move up. And so for Dallas this year, this is a really good guard draft. Kirk, I mean, I'm rooting for you guys. I thought it was funny. Earlier this season, I had my story talking about why the Mavericks should tank. And I quoted an executive who said, Cooper might go 4th or 5th or even 6th. I'll tell you what, my source was not Jamal Mashburn, who said on TV the other day he would take Cooper Flagg 6th in this year's draft class. On TV, on camera, he said it. He's not my source. He's not an NBA executive.
He did this a day or two after Flagg had scored 49 points in an NBA game. And that was, you're listening to his reasoning, and he talked about how Flagg has holes in his game, unclear what those holes were. I do completely understand being high on a lot of this year's draft class. I did a short video on the internet about this, and lots of people are rushing to tell me that Cooper Flagg reclassified because he didn't want the smoke from this current class of freshmen, which is preposterous, as Flagg beat everyone on the high school circuit so badly that he finally did what his mother said. He went and found a new gym after being the best guy in the current gym. And now he's in the NBA scoring 34 points on Amen Thompson. So Mashburn's take that, Darren Peterson, who I really think could be an absolutely special player, Caleb Wilson, who else do we have here? AJ Debanza. And then he said like Koa Pete, which I'm just, okay,
Koa Pete,
sure,
yeah,
whatever.
I was like,
what are we doing here? It was just a great take from Jamal Mashburn, because it allowed me to both talk about college players that I like while also noting, I don't see any of those guys getting invited to work out with Team USA before they go to the Olympics. Didn't happen for any of those guys. There's a reason for that. So this was just like a very funny way to start to go into the weekend. And it's just something that's going to be on my mind for the rest of like the college basketball season, because make no mistake, there are some absolutely outstanding players in this year's draft. I mean, we talked about a few of them earlier about who the Mavericks could go get. But Flagg, if you don't think he's special, I don't know what to tell you, and I might have to question your basketball bona fides. So,
I do.
I think, did I say that word right? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask about pronunciation of words. But look, I think Flagg would likely be number 1 this year. Likely. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's who ends up number 1 is going to depend on who gets the pick. That's just the honest truth. There are some teams that prefer AJ Debanza from BYU. There's some teams that prefer Peterson. There's a couple that I think would lean Boozer. Not too many. I think most teams would have Boozer 3rd or lower. But ultimately, Flagg, I said it last year in my draft guide, there has not been another prospect with a higher floor with still an amazing ceiling than Cooper Flagg. Like with Victor Wembanyama, there's an all-time great ceiling, but there's still, he's tall, there's still a fear of injury and all that in injury history. With Flagg, the floor is just all-star. That's like the worst case scenario for Cooper Flagg. It's all-star caliber talent. The ceiling is MVP, multi-time MVP.
I think the answer, and part of why there's some of these burgeoning takes, because Udonis Haslem had one on NBA or on Prime's NBA coverage as well, saying he would take VJ Edgecombe first if they were to redo this draft.
It's crazy.
And
it's nuts.
It's nuts. And I think because we don't know who to compare Cooper to. I have never seen a player like this, and I don't know what his ceiling could be. There's obviously like some, if you want to say like physical limitations, and the fact that he's 6'9" as opposed to 7'5" like Victor, sure. But could he be a 6'9" point guard in 3 years? Could he be a 40% 3-point shooter who's getting 30? Like, could he be one of the league's top 5 scorers? I don't know. I also don't want to rule it out right now. And that's what makes him so kind of remarkable. When we're projecting these guys from college, sometimes that projection, when it hits the reality of playing the NBA, you have to rethink things almost immediately, because guys, when they're facing professional level talent, it just changes the way their game looks. Flagg continues to elevate and continues to improve in small ways every couple of weeks. And that should be frightening for teams. You know, my mother called me and she said, Kirk, do you know that Cooper Flagg's 19? And it's just like, guys, he's special in a way that's hard to contextualize, because he's just a flat out good basketball player.
I mean, he's already a top 45, top 40 player in the NBA. I don't think that's outrageous to say. I mean, he's a very good defensive player already. He has everything. The only hole is he doesn't have the knockdown 3-point jumper yet. But I think in time that'll come. The dude's amazing. He's absolutely incredible. I think he has exceeded my expectations this year, as has Con Knipple and some other young guys, VJ Edgecombe too. All three of those guys all three of them have exceeded expectations. Dylan Harper, after I said I'd take Con Knipp, the Spurs should have taken Knipple over Harper. He's had 3 really strong games in a row, 3 of his best games of the year. This draft class could be very, very special. And Cooper Flagg, though, is at the top of that. Still the guy you would take number 1 in this year's draft class if you're redrafting the 2025 class right now. The dude's unbelievable. I think he'd go number 1 this year. I'd have him 1 on my board still this year. Darren Peterson, let's see him play a second half. Can we see him play a second half of a game? Right? I mean,
yes. I will say, though, that dunk that he had in the BYU game gave me like awesome prime Baron Davis vibes, because power guards are rare. Like, it's like the Derrick Rose stuff. Like, there's just not that many guards that are able to get to the rack with that kind of authority. Oh my God. He's special, and I am trying not to get my hopes up, because I couldn't even imagine like a Cooper Flagg, Darren Peterson pairing. Ooh. You wouldn't be able to talk to me. I would be. I would give Bill Simmons a run for his money in terms of just sheer like team optimism. You know.
I mean, you'd be talking about like LeBron.
That's right.
1, not 2.
That's right.
That would be the sense in Dallas if that were to happen. Hey, you never know, Kirk. You never know. You never know. You got lottery luck last year, and you could get it again this year. I'm rooting for you guys, Kirk. I hope more good things continue happening in Dallas, man.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin.